All right, guys, welcome back to episode 3 of the Raw and Real Conversations with Evan podcast with your host, Evan Youngblood-Williams here. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I know that Men's Mental Health Awareness Month doesn't get a lot of love and a lot of attention. So, henceforth, the reason why I want to make a video on this topic, because I know there's a lot of men out there that struggle with mental health issues like suicide, depression, and other forms of self harm. And without further ado, let's get into this video and deep dive on it.
Have you ever thought about taking your own life?
Yes. The sergeants found a noose in my closet that
Oh, no.
I was ready to use.
Have you ever thought about ending things?
No.
No.
I have, for sure.
Yes.
Is that something you feel comfortable sharing?
Yes. I have been in really rough water, and the thought was this is a way out of it.
There's been moments where I've definitely felt the pressure of
I
life.
feel like I was not meeting expectations of my parents, so I just obviously was feeling like a failure, and that my life was also just going to be a constant failure.
See, I want to pause it for a brief second and tell you that if you feel that way right now, man, let me tell you, your life does mean something, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. And I know it's tough right now. I know it's hard. I know you're going through a lot and you have a lot going on, but I want you to know, brother, that you are loved and you are appreciated, at least by me, and most importantly, by the Creator. All right. Love you, bro.
You ask yourself, why, do I deserve this?
Suppressing all your emotions deep down where nobody can find them.
There are no problems, there's just weakness.
I often feel like I am always like swimming, and sometimes I just get so tired of like stroking the water to keep my head above.
Have you ever considered committing suicide?
I have attempted twice,
Oh, man.
but it's something I'm very open with talking about, because I think if we want to normalize mental health, that means we have to have the uncomfortable conversations about it.
I think we all
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Absolutely. We have to have the uncomfortable conversations, you know? And I get that there's a lot of content out there that's dismissing men's mental health and talking about the male loneliness epidemic, which I don't feel like is real. I'm not going to get too deep into that. I will get deep into that on that topic on another video. But yeah, that is a real thing. That is a real thing.
hit low moments in our lives that make us think about where we're at. You have to talk about it with somebody and be honest about it.
Yes, have the uncomfortable conversations. You have to. I just lost my train of thought for a brief second, but thank you for reminding me, brother. Yeah, it's a lot of things. It's a thing that nobody ever wants to talk about is men's mental health, because we as men are expected to be strong and stoic at all times, because society has put us in that role of being a provider, protector. And we as men, men growing up, we've been told that you can't cry, you can't show any emotion, you have to be strong at all times. But heck, you're going to break eventually if you keep on stuffing down your emotions more and more and more. And that's not healthy. And I encourage all men to express themselves in a healthy way, of course. Don't do it in a way that's damaging to the people around you. But you need to find a healthy outlet for getting those feelings off your chest. You can write some music or write a poem or write a book, or you can just whip out a journal and just vent and just write down your thoughts, or you can do like I'm doing and just turn it into content. Or hell, if you don't even want to post it and you just want to do like this as a therapeutic tool and not post it on the internet, you're welcome to do that as well. The point is, you need to be doing something as a man to be expressing your emotions healthily, because the only way that you can heal is if you feel. That's the only way. All right, anyways, back to the video.
There's nothing wrong with having those thoughts or feelings. It's very normal.
I think guys are taught
to just kind of tough it out.
To be a man, you gotta be strong. Be the main, like, rock for the family.
Suck it up.
Being a man, like, just couldn't show your feelings was really like one of the biggest things that got me growing up, yeah.
I would fall and bruise my knee, and I would be like, ow! My dad would like slap me or kick me and be like, what are you doing? Just be strong.
Have you ever considered committing suicide?
No way.
It's good.
Yeah. Nope. Haven't.
No. Personally, I have never.
That hits deep because my dad committed suicide, you know what I mean, when I was 10 years old. And I seen the pain that inflicted on my family. Like, I wouldn't want to do that to my family.
I created a very strange rule around the fact that now I can't ever do it. Since my uncle took that slot of suicide, I can't now be another person in the family to just do that when I have clear evidence of how it affects everyone.
Have you ever considered committing suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah, multiple times.
I think, dang, this is scary, man. This is scary to know that there's quite a bit of men out there that are considering committing suicide. Like, that is a very alarming thing that we do need to address ASAP so that this doesn't continue to happen over and over and over again, because one suicide is one too many.
All queer people have contemplated that. Probably as a like 14, 15.
Yeah, I had a pretty rough adolescence. In my case, growing up homeschooled and fundamentalist Christian in a environment when I, didn't yet know I was queer, and that was a pretty tough environment for me.
A gay kid coming into my own, not really knowing how to handle that. Lots of depressive and suicidal thoughts.
I have not.
No.
I'm fortunate to say that I really haven't.
No, I have. And I come from a very typical Asian household who's like Asian tiger mob, who's like really high expectations. I was pretty sad at the time.
Have you ever thought about ending things?
Yeah.
I have not.
No, I have never considered it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've known people that have, like, quite a few people that have done it. I'm getting kind of numb to it, which is totally sad.
There have been times where I felt like really like in a hole, just thoughts of like being on a crosswalk and being like, I wouldn't mind if a car hit me.
I have not.
Yes.
Once. I think I was in like middle school.
Like, I was bullied in school.
High school, I was dealing with some depression that never really was treated.
It was during the pandemic. I was depressed, living alone for the first time. I was working multiple jobs. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was stressed about everything about life. And I was way too afraid to share that struggle with anybody.
Yes. Do you feel comfortable talking about them?
Yeah, I think it's good that we do talk about it nowadays until we start getting honest and realizing just because I have these thoughts or I've acted on them doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a sad person or a sick person. It just means I went through some shit, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay talking about it.
Hey, we want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video.
Pick one.
No matter who you are, where you're from, or what you look like, everyone struggles with mental health. It's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it takes courage to acknowledge when you need help and to do something about it. BetterHelp is on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Therapy is a safe space to share whatever's on your mind. The therapist is there to listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. With BetterHelp, they'll match you up with a licensed therapist to help you get the most out of your therapy journey. And if the therapist isn't a good fit, you can easily switch to another until you find a match that works.
Good? All right, let's cut. If you're struggling and think you'd benefit from a therapy session, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/cut and get 10% off your first month of therapy.
Have you ever considered committing suicide?
Yes. Struggled with those kinds of thoughts. Honestly, all the way until I came out as trans.
I grew up Mormon. So I didn't really have anything to like showcase that like trans is an option. I just knew that I hated pink and I hated dresses and I would do anything to get them muddy and dirty, but there was just something that didn't feel right. So for a long time, I felt very uncomfortable in my body and just wanted to be out of it.
And see, that's another thing, like people feeling uncomfortable in themselves. Now, I will say this, and do not take offense to this, but I don't agree with the with the ABC community in particular. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for it. But at the same time, I do care about people's mental health. And I want everybody's mental health, in particular men, because this episode is about men. Mental health is important and you have to take care of it. You have to take care of it. And I'm gonna look up another video by a channel that I do like. I do like this creator. Trying to find him. Dang. Trying to find him. I'm on my page. Oh man. Bear with me, guys. Just bear with me as I look for this YouTuber that I like. Yeah, it's Wrong Real, man. It's the Wrong Real podcast. I'm telling you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is what I was trying to find. I really like this dude's content. This guy speaks on a lot of real stuff. Yeah, which video? Yeah.
To where you've learned something as opposed to just continuing to make the same mistake.
Okay, let's rewind it back.
When you go through enough bullshit, when you go through enough experiences in your life to where you've learned something as opposed to just continuing to make the same mistakes, you start to use yourself as a barometer for others that may be seeking advice, seeking assistance, or you use your barometer on the other side of the spectrum of you trying to gauge where you should be by emulating those that you're trying to be like. Well, let's just say I've gone through enough experiences in my life. And if YouTube existed when I was a youngin', like I'm trying to convey this channel for y'all, I would have absolutely wanted somebody to tell me the power of saying no.
Mm-hmm. And that's also a key part of protecting your mental health as men is the power to say no. Because a lot of times when you agree to do something that you don't want to do, when you know it doesn't agree with your spirit and your authentic self, you're going to be kicking yourself every single time. And it's going to hurt because you betrayed yourself. And self-betrayal for men is a big detriment to men's mental health. So fellas, you got to learn to say no sometimes. It's okay. Even if they get offended, oh well, they'll be happy. They'll be happy eventually. I don't know. Anyways, let me continue the video.
And there's a multitude of ways I could break this down, and we have time today, so I'm going to do it. A lot of people get frustrated at how other people carry themselves. They hate how manipulative people are. They hate how vindictive people are. They hate how other people are able to place them in positions or scenarios that they themselves would have never, ever been in. And a lot of this shit could be avoided if we just said no.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, men and women included, they're too concerned about how they'll be viewed by people if they say no. How people will address them going forward solely by saying no. So a lot of the times, people will find themselves in situations solely because it's easier if I just say yes and then show that I'm not interested in it going forward. So they won't ask me going forward as opposed to just telling them, no, this is not something that interests me. When dare was a thing, you know, the saying Barbara Bush said, if we didn't find it as corny as the slogan itself was, we would have appreciated that slogan way more than what it was intended for, because they were using it for weed and trying to get us off of drugs. I'm not concerned about anyone's drug usage, but just say no to me now that I'm older, lets me know you can say no and not have to explain yourself.
You don't have to explain yourself, guys. But man, again, you got to say no sometimes whenever it comes to your mental health, and that's how you protect your peace. So this is one small step that you could do to take your power back as a man is learning to say no sometimes. Because if it doesn't align with you and your authenticity, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it at all. It don't matter the cost. It don't matter if it's going to cost you opportunities, friendships, relationships, whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, you have to protect your mental health as a man. Because no one else is going to care enough to do it for you.
A lot of people will get frustrated by a no, and then the retort from the person they're saying no to is, well, why not? Or how come? I don't need to explain anything to you. And then you don't even have to say that to them. Why is that an interest of yours? Or even worse, and this is the level of manliness I'm trying to strive to be. If I said no already and you ask me a dumbass question that doesn't require a response, I'm not going to give you a response. And quiet as kept, I don't care how you view me after that, because you don't care how I view you by asking me how come or why not, or trying to expound on me saying no to begin with. That's letting me know you don't respect my boundaries. And a lot of the times, because you kind of grow up in society and you learn the rules and the engagement of society by interacting with society. When you see people not speaking up for themselves, or you see people doing things that they don't want to do, it's because they don't have the power or the confidence in themselves to simply say no.
And that's another thing is you have to build that confidence within yourself as a man. See, when you learn to start practicing saying no, you're going to naturally build up your confidence and self-respect as a man. And one of the biggest reasons that men's mental health is suffering, apart from society, is you not respecting yourself or loving yourself enough to say no to things that don't align with you. And you have to do that as a man. You have to be able to protect yourself. Because society does not give a flying flip about your mental health. Society cares about you working, providing, being stoic, so on and so forth, and just rinse and repeat until the day you die. So whatever you can do to protect your mental health and your peace, do it, fellas. Do it.
It doesn't matter what scenario you find yourself in. If your girlfriend or boyfriend, for some reason, a lot of women are watching this channel too. If they're telling you to do something or trying to manipulate you into doing something, and you know what they're trying to do to you, but you go along with it anyway, who am I supposed to blame, them or you? And as far as manipulation is concerned, there's a whole different breakdown for that I have coming up. So y'all stay tuned for that. But how am I supposed to view you in a respectful light when somebody else engaged with you and they were able to convey, I want you to do this, and against your will, you did it anyway? Why would I respect you if you don't respect yourself? A lot of saying no is having respect in ourselves. I don't care how you view me, because how you're approaching me after I said no means you don't care how I view you. And let's take it a step further. If you're in a scenario like gang activity, or if you find yourself with your friends and this is a lane that they're just now, it's novel to you, this is the first time you've seen them do it, but then it comes to your knowledge that, oh, this is something that they do and I'm not cool with doing this. Do you continue to go down that path because these are my friends? Or do you sit down, simply say no? And then a lot of people will hear no, or they don't want to say no because they think it's final. They think it's absolute, finite. When I say no, that doesn't mean, shit, we can go back to this particular scenario. If I say no to you, it doesn't mean I don't ever want to be your friend again. That just means this is a boundary that I've set for myself. I'm not going to be implicit in any of these activities that you do. Or if it's a drug, this is not a drug that I have in my system. End all be all. Whenever y'all are doing this, this is what this no ensues. Whenever y'all are doing this, because y'all know I don't do it, don't continue to invite me when y'all are doing it. And if that's going to be a problem, this no from the offset is letting you know then we'll have to cease. There's a litany of things that come after the no, but the no sets up the boundary. The no gets you out of fickle situations that I fuck with you or I rock with you, but I don't rock with this situation. If you feel the need to explain yourself, then that's when you can explain and expound. But if you don't want to explain yourself, or if it is a finite decision for you, then a simple no will suffice. Because look, I've seen enough. I'm done with you. But a lot of the times, and this is why peer pressure is the thing, I don't want to lose my friendship. I don't want to lose the access that I have with these guys. And even though this is against my...
But then what is that access costing you though? When you cling on to friendships and relationships in general that you know don't serve your well-being as a man, you're betraying yourself. And over time, as you keep doing that over and over and over and over and over again, you slowly but surely start losing yourself. And when you lose yourself, your mental health goes down with it. So, you know, you got to take full responsibility for protecting your own mental health. Because again, ain't nobody going to do it for you. Nobody's going to protect you like you protect you. So you have to be your own biggest protector before you can think about protecting a family.
I'm going to do it anyway, solely so I won't lose them. This is why I hate that it takes us getting older and maturing as men, and I'm hoping that I'm reaching out to a lot of the youngins out there.
You are.
Sorry, guys. Normally that wouldn't happen, but I had to
Mama
take an important call. But anyway, this is why I hate when I hate that it takes us maturing as men to realize we need to have more respect in ourselves than we have the respect in others. I'm going to always choose myself over losing access to the friends that I thought I had if they're continuing to make dumbass decisions.
And that's another thing that I had to do in my life is stop worrying about losing access to certain friends and even my most recent relationship. You know, that was a big, big, big key choice for me to make in my life was to walk away from something that wasn't no longer serving me or feeding my soul. And before that, I had to cut away a lot of friendships that wasn't serving me either because I noticed that they were on the road to nowhere fast and I had to leave them behind for my own mental and spiritual health. And you have to do the same thing too, brothers.
If I've told them no one too many times and they're not respecting my no, they keep going above the no, or they keep peer pressuring me and they're doing things that are against my will, I'm going to choose myself over them. This is why I'm trying to convey this message. I would rather say no and you be upset at me for the moment than say yes and I'd be upset at you for life. Because a lot of the situations I found myself in were, first of all, you have to take onus as a man for an accountability. The same thing that we want everybody else to take, you have to take it for yourself. You have to acknowledge what it was that placed you in the positions that you find yourself in, whether you're getting manipulated, whether somebody's seeking vengeance on you, or you just find yourself in trouble. You have to take accountability for what you did. But outside of that, I don't want decisions that I made. I know I made these decisions because I was following the lead, because I couldn't say no, because I said yes to a scenario that I had already seen play out in my head. This is where the confidence comes into play, because I used to get frustrated when I would encounter a man in the wild, let's say that, a stranger, and I'm asking for assistance, but they don't have the time to give me assistance. They don't have the time to go out their way to teach me. They don't have the time to do any of that. I have somewhere that I need to be. I used to get frustrated when men would tell me no. Not like feminine, like, oh my God, just offended. Like, did he disrespect me? I used to view that as a sign of disrespect. And on the flip side of that, I used to find myself doing a lot of things for a lot of people that I cared for and thought simply by saying no or going against the grain or disagreeing with what they said, that I would lose the bond and the access that I had to them at that time. No, because once again, you learn through experience and you got to use yourself as the barometer. How many times have you asked somebody to do something and they simply told you no? And even if you tried to expound and ask why they couldn't do it, they didn't explain. They didn't give you a reason. They just said, mind your business. You could be frustrated, but at the end of the day, you moved on and they accomplished their goal of not doing or committing to whatever it was you were trying to get them to commit to. They didn't go out their way and ask you something. You went out your way to ask them. So you have to use the situations that you've been through on the opposite side. Hey, I wouldn't mind saying no. Get the fuck out my face. And when I say no and then continue with the vulgarities, that's something that I'm saying in my head. I'm not just telling people, get the fuck out my face. But me saying no is in essence saying, get the fuck out my face, because I don't have time for this. You got to always remind yourself of this. When somebody did it to you, you remember how you felt, but you got the fuck out their way. In relationships with your significant other, if they're pestering you to do something that you know you are not going to do, that you know it is against your will to do it, are you going to commit to doing it solely so they'll get out the way and you can make them happy? Or are you going to set a boundary for yourself and say no and stick to the no? Look, this.
Yep. That's the one mistake I made one too many times in my previous relationship. You know, I've done a lot of things that I did not want to do simply to try to make her happy. And in the long run, that caused me to build up resentment and anger towards her. But it's not necessarily her fault, because I didn't protect my peace and my mental health by setting boundaries and then sticking to it as a man. And so if you find yourself, fellas, going through the same situation in your household, then you need to take a deep look in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I so afraid to set boundaries with my partner? Why am I fearing their reaction? Why is that?
This is something that I'm not willing to commit to. But here's another part of this, though. You can't just say no to everything. Just like your mom and your pops used to tell you, you got to learn how to pick your battles wisely. You can't fight every single battle. It's the same thing with this. You can't say no to every single request, because then you can't get frustrated when people don't want to fuck with you in that same manner. When you're asking for favors and wondering why nobody will help you in a time of need, well, hell, did you do it to anybody else? No. So learn the power of no. And I'm saying the power of it because it is extremely powerful. If you say no and you mean no and you're dead in that shit, then it's dead and it's over with. But then you have to know that you can't be a hypocrite. So when somebody places that same boundary on you, you have to respect it. A lot of growing into your full manhood is understanding, damn, I have to give respect in order to receive respect. It sounds cliche-ish as fuck, but you can't expect people to treat you in the manner that you wanted to be treated. You can't expect people to say or agree with you when you say yes and then move out the way when you say no if you're not willing to do it to them as well. A lot of growing into your full maturity is understanding, I mean no, you mean no. I want respect, you want respect. The only way I could get respect from you is if you respect me and vice versa. So the art of saying no is a power. You could use it as a privilege, but it's really a right. You just have to use that right correctly. And I wish people would tell me early on, no, not just saying no to me. Why are you saying no? And why do you use it in the manner that you do? Why do you not feel the need to explain yourself? Why do you not care how people view you when you shut shit down vehemently? Because saying no is a vehement shutdown. But there's an art that comes to this. I'm saying no to getting in any further drama. I'm saying no to getting in any legalities or any trouble with the law. I'm saying no to the manipulation and the vindictiveness that comes later on in a relationship, because I'm just doing what you want me to do. Because you don't realize at the time, if you say yes enough to something that's against your will, they're going to expect you to continue to say yes and everything else.
Yep. It starts off with one small decision and it's going to lead to a snowball effect of them expecting you to say yes to everything. And that's part of the reason why men wonder why that their mental health is suffering because they said yes to way too many things that they did not want to do.
And because you haven't shown a backbone, they're going to continue to walk all over you. So a lot of the times when people manipulate you, it's because you allowed them. That's what they mean by that. Can't nobody force you to do anything. You are concerned about losing access to that person, or you're concerned about disappointing them. A lot of manipulation comes from solely someone caring too much.
Mm-hmm.
No. There's a power. But as always, I appreciate y'all taking your time out your day, spend some time with your boy over here. I promise y'all, we're going to continue at this. We're going to
Yeah, and there you have it. So I'm pretty much near the end of this video right here. I feel like I've been on here long enough, viewing part of the other video and showing this video. But yeah, as men, we need to set stronger boundaries, say no and mean it, and not compromise on it. But at the same time, say yes to some things, but don't say yes to everything. You don't have to be a yes man. Because when you're a yes man, you're not being your full, truthful, authentic self. And it's not going to be easy at first. It's going to take some practice. You're going to be, like I said in the last video, shaking in your boots a little bit. But the more and more you keep practicing saying no to the things that don't align with you and don't serve you, the easier it will get. I promise you, it's going to change your life forever and change it in a different direction. And that's part of taking your power back and your mental health back and your peace, is learning what you're willing and not willing to tolerate. Because like this man said, well, I ain't gonna say it word for word. I'm gonna put it in my own words, that you can't keep letting people manipulate you and keep complaining about it because you allowed it. And nobody can force you to do anything you don't want to do. Because here's one thing: adults do what they want to do. And if you're suffering in your mental health, you have to take responsibility and change the things that you can change and let go of the things that you can't. That's all about it. That's what it's all about. And that's the whole point of this video, and the whole point about your mental health is learning to take your own power back and stop waiting on society to care about your mental health for you. Because if you don't care, everybody else for damn sure ain't gonna care. But anyways, that concludes this episode. I hope you guys have gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge and value from this video and / podcast. And if you found a lot of value in this video, go ahead and like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get updates on newer episodes that I'll be uploading on this channel. I'm not sure what my schedule will be yet. I'm playing it by ear right now based on my circumstances. But anyways, peace, love, positivity, high vibrations.